Many of you guys know I've been driving my 2004 Honda Accord EX for a little over 7 years now, and honestly, they don't make cars like this anymore. Not only has this Honda been with me almost everywhere, but what started off as a hand-me-down car for my siblings turned into a project/daily driver, and it's been through thick and thin with me ever since. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. I'm Rich. In today's video, I'm going to show you why my teched out 2004 Honda Accord is low-key a life hack and why I haven't quite replaced it just yet. So a little backstory, my parents picked up this Honda around 2015 as the third owner for my siblings to use. Over time, it got passed down from one sibling to the next and eventually me, so I'm super fortunate for that. Honestly, I got pretty lucky. I needed something reliable to get around, especially while finishing college. I wasn't trying to take on a loan for another car. At one point, I was actually going close to broke. The only job I could find was being a seasonal UPS driver, so I was literally delivering packages out of my own Honda, thus putting more strain and miles on the parts. I don't want to get too into it, but it was a pretty dark time in my life, and I was quite literally freezing in the Honda and slept in it at some points during the winter time. I was pretty much working 6 days a week from 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. just to pay off my debt, and it was very hard for anyone to hire me with little experience. Today, it's gotten much better, but I do remember those sleepless nights in that car. Throughout the years, my Honda was pretty much able to stay with me. I was able to source parts from junkyards and auto parts stores. I did most of the repairs myself, as well as painting the trim and the brake calipers. I also got dual tip exhaust done and just a few other upgrades that I want to show you guys throughout the video. Just all the necessary repairs and some fun upgrades that makes it amazing to drive while keeping it practical, affordable, and reliable. Since this car is fully paid off, I don't have to worry about no monthly payments today, just insurance and gas. So insurance is actually really affordable. I only carry liability right now, so that's a very, very low rate. But that does mean if I'm at fault in an accident, my car isn't covered. But with an older vehicle like this, I'm okay with that. It's relatively easy and inexpensive to replace if it ever came down to it. Maintenance is also very affordable, which makes it even easier to keep on the road long term. As many of y'all know, Honda parts are very inexpensive and easy to replace, typically costing 40% less than the industry average. It's one of the best ways to learn about cars in my opinion, if you decide to tinker with it. And I'd say I had the chance to drive a decent amount of cars in my life. Nothing too crazy, but enough to get a feel for what's out there. A lot of my friends are into cars, so I've been lucky to experience some of them along the way. But honestly, I've built such a strong attachment to this Honda that it doesn't feel necessary. When I compare this to a lot of newer cars today, it kind of feels like I'm not missing out on much within the last 20 years. Aside from things like lane assist, better airbag systems, automatic emergency braking, the ride quality on this car feels absolutely raw. We all know and love the famous VTEC. I have fully heated leather seats and a large 44-inch sunroof, which is amazing to open during the spring, summer, and fall. I really am looking at upgrading, but I just don't quite see the motive yet. And if I did, I'd probably want to go big, like getting a sports car or a luxury SUV, you know, just to feel a little something. So first, let's talk about some of the coolest features about this car and some of the things I added, starting off with the Android head unit that supports Apple CarPlay. Some of y'all might already seen this in previous videos, but this is seriously underrated. Before this, there was a CD drive bay, which honestly felt like the caveman time, so I had to upgrade to a 10.1-inch QLED touchscreen with a 1280 by 800p resolution screen. And honestly, it looks great. This one pushes over 400 nits of brightness, so even in direct sunlight, it stays crisp and easy to read. It's from a company called Extrons, running Android 13 on a Snapdragon 665 chip with 8 gigs of RAM and 256 gigs of storage. So performance on this is really smooth and more than capable for daily use in the car. The startup is quick and connects to my phone instantly over Bluetooth. You don't need to plug in any cables, which is something a lot of newer cars today still rely on, which is kind of weird. If you don't want to use the Apple CarPlay aspect of it, you can just use it as a regular Android head unit. So if you connect your phone's hotspot to it, you can watch apps like Netflix and YouTube, which you probably really shouldn't be doing while driving, but this one it can. You've also got a ton of built-in controls like adjusting your climate settings, dialing in the EQ for your sound system, and once you tune it in, the audio actually sounds super solid. You can also change the key mapping of the Honda steering wheel to increase and decrease volume, change songs, and pause and play too. There's also phone mirroring, which allows you to cast your entire phone screen directly onto the display. And if you're an audio nerd, you can use your own USB stick and plug it directly into the unit, so you don't have to rely on streaming services and get the highest quality sound. That, or install your own movies on here too. Here's a really cool luxurious feature that this car has, where if you press and hold down the unlock button twice, you can actually put all 4 windows of the car down. Like, watch this. Wow. Look at that. Just unfortunately not the sunroof though. This feature is designed to vent out hot air of the car before you step inside on a hot summer day, and honestly, with the 20% tints I have in the windows, this just looks really clean. I also added a rear view mirror dash cam that doubles as a backup camera, so I still get that full reverse view with the red, yellow, and green guidelines. As soon as you pop it into reverse, the mirror will shift over and it's super handy. I have it hardwired into the interior fuse box so it stays on forever and records even when the car is off. It barely drains the battery. I've only had issues if the car sits by itself for like 2 to 3 weeks. And honestly, this thing already paid for itself, because if you guys watched my last video, this thing actually saved me a few months ago where somebody had rear-ended me in Philly. So yes, I think a dash cam like this is genuinely a must. I also added these LED puddle lights after spotting them in another Honda Accord video. I ended up picking this setup on Amazon. Install was super easy, took less than a minute to swap it in, and every time you open the door, the Honda logo projects onto the ground, which adds a really clean, almost premium touch. And at night, they stand out even more, and the glow just hits different in low light. And then I added my own RGB ambient light strip across all 4 doors. I already made a full dedicated video on this, so if you want to check it out, definitely go watch. So in retrospect, I think the whole goal with this car was to fix it up first and then make it into something more OEM plus. I do like the original look of this car. I did change out the headlights. I added my own fog lights, added a spoiler, tinted the windows of course, but most of everything else still stayed the same. The floor mats are original and they still look great. The leather seats are holding up strong as well. I mean, there are a few rips, and that I guess is just from normal wear and tear. I mean, this is a really old car now. It's almost antique. The steering wheel has got to be by far my favorite. It's just the right amount of thinness, and I do clean the wheel often just so it feels nice, and I pray it doesn't strip over time. And of course, the speakers are still stock. I believe this is a 6-speaker setup. You got 2 tweeters in the front, 2 in the bottom, and 2 in the back. No subwoofer, but still, I think this car's sound system sounds way better than a lot of new cars today still. I have no idea why, you just have to take my word for it. It's just really well balanced. There's enough bass, enough treble, highs and mids sound great, no screeching, and honestly, it's a blast.
It's an economy car. I wasn't expecting much, but for the most part, it is fun. You can hear the VTEC kicking, baby. If you do want to shift it into first gear, get a little bit more oomph. But yeah, it's enough to jerk me back a little bit. That's all I'm saying. Overall, these are just good generation Honda Accords. They're just built very well. Obviously, I do want to upgrade in the future once this car goes down, and I haven't quite made my decision on what I really want yet, so we'll just have to see.
Many of us today might feel the pressure driving an older car from the 2000s because of safety, reliability, or just not having the latest tech, and while that's true, newer cars are objectively safer. When you pop the hood of this 04 Accord, you can tell that I kept it mostly stock for the main part. For an engine bay to look like this, I think it actually looks pretty damn solid. At the heart of it is a Honda K-Series engine, and this thing is an absolute marvel in engineering. It's what your dad always told you: keep up with the basic maintenance interval, fluids, tires, try not to drive it hard all the time, and the car will pay itself off in the long run. Known for its reliability, the K-Series engine uses strong parts, a timing chain instead of a belt. I have over 221,000 miles on this, and I don't think she's going to be stopping anytime soon. What's crazy is that this engine is widely used from everyday commuter cars today, like the Civic, CR-V, and all the way to the performance models like the Type R. This thing has smooth power delivery, solid efficiency, good gas mileage, and just enough character from the VTEC at higher RPMs to keep things a little interesting. It's obviously not the fastest on the road, but easily one of the more dependables and underrated setups Honda has ever made. This in return does lead to lower costs and repairs in the long run. I do my own oil changes. You can pick up a 5-quart jug from Walmart for under $25, plus an OEM filter from Honda. I change my oil about 4 times a year, or roughly every season, and I do it mainly because even though it's an old car, it's still not without its age-related wear, so I like to stay ahead of it and focus on preventative maintenance to keep the engine running. I added a DC Sports strut bar just to tighten up the whole front end. I did feel like steering was improved. It was more stable at higher speeds and there was less of a body roll when turning. It helps the car feel more planted, more controlled overall. That, and it makes my engine bay look a little cooler. And over time I did replace a few key parts along the way, like a new alternator, new idler pulley, and for a bit of extra performance and sound, I added a cold air intake. And then for the center console, I just have this Yantu 3-way splitter for 12-volt connections. I have an Anchor USB adapter that has an A and a 3-port. This supports up to 35 watts of charging, so you can charge your MacBooks, your iPhones really fast. I have some cologne, scissors, pens, and whatnot in here. And now when we take a look at the trunk, this is actually one of my favorite parts about this car because it's so spacious. As you remember, I was doing UPS deliveries out of this thing and able to sleep in the car with this. Just so you guys know, I am 6 feet tall, ladies. So yeah, you can sleep in this thing pretty comfortably if you have a pillow and some blankets. This is like the car EDC part of the video, so I always keep a 2-ton trolley jack from Harbor Freight. This is for when I need to help out a friend, which happens a lot more than I think now, because a lot of people are asking me to help fix their car, replace their spare tire, and take a quick look at their brakes, change their oil at times when I don't have my full garage at home. I keep a 1/2-inch impact wrench from Craftsman at all times, so I can quickly take off the wheel without having to use the emergency tire bar. This one's pretty powerful and I keep the battery charged in the car at all times as well. I have this tool bag here which has my tire pump, which is super useful. I think you guys should get this right now. This one plugs directly into the 12-volt lighter and can pump up your car to any PSI levels that you want it to. And I always keep a tire plug kit so I can fix my own tires if there's like a nail in there, and I can get right back on the road without paying anyone or wasting any time. I always keep the Noco Boost GBX45. You also definitely need this too. Make sure to get this from the link down below because I get an affiliate kickback. But yeah, in the wintertime, batteries are gonna die if you leave them out for too long. I never really like relying on someone else's car because 1, you need to find a friend or a stranger, and 2, jumpstarting your car from their battery isn't always guaranteed either. It's rated at 1,250 amps. It can jumpstart 6.5-liter gas engines. It acts as a USB-C and A power bank so you can charge your phone, laptops. There's a flashlight on it. This has up to 60 watts charging speed, and if I need to charge this, I can charge it in the car itself using the Anchor adapter I showed you guys earlier. And this one's super safe because it has reverse polarity protection, so it is spark proof. It's definitely a very high quality product, and all of these things I'm recommending to you guys have close to 5-star reviews on Amazon. If you want to pick up anything from this video, make sure to purchase directly from here through that link so it helps your boy out. Very, very much appreciated. But yeah, let me know what you guys are driving down below. I want to see what you guys are whipping. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Tell me what you want to see in the future. I try to get my hand on as much cool tech, cars, and all that possible for you guys. So yeah, until then guys, this is Rich Me, signing off.